Ground ball. McLean, second. 12 in a row. The oldest team in professional baseball has its 5th ever winning streak of a dozen straight.
Our job every day is to try to kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's why we're here.
That is caught. Left center. Reds win.
And this ball is launched high and very deep to right, long gone. It's second of the night. Ellie De La Cruz.
Short lead for Pena. Larkin drills it. Do you believe this? It's going to be gone. Back to back. Walk-off home runs. How about this? The captain is back. He's back. He's back.
And a swing and a drive. Deep left field. This one belongs to the Reds. Swung on and hit deep to left field. That ball is going to be gone. Home run. And the Reds put it tied to score.
Goes to second one. Around to first. Got a double play. And the Reds sweep the Cubs. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Way back there. And gone into the second deck and left. Christian Encarnacion Strand walks it off.
Archer does it in his major league debut. He gets the final 3 outs, and the Reds get an extra inning win. A thriller 5-4.
Swung on. Fly ball. Hit to deep right field. That ball is going to be gone. A grand slam home run by Mike Cameron.
2 outs, 2 on. Reds down by 1. Larkin down the line. It's a winner. It's a winner. Here comes Tucker. Here comes Steins. Larkin's won the game. Barry Larkin gets mobbed. Look at this scene. It's synergy.
The stretch, the pause, and the pitch. And a line drive, base hit left center field. A single for Aaron Boone. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won 8 in a row.
Kobayashi with a long look, turns it loose, and Dunn hits it to deep right. It's all over. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won their 5th game in a row. They've defeated the Cleveland Indians on an Adam Dunn 3-run home run, 4-2. In on the corners at first and third. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Roy Green pitching, no bunt. Ground ball by the third baseman into left field. Jay Bruce rounds third. This one belongs to the Reds.
That's it pretty good. Guess what? He doesn't need speed. That's gone. He's the king of the Queen City tonight.
With 1 out here in the 11th inning, you sure got to go now.
1 out, pull down the left field line. That ball is going to get the winning run in. Here comes Jay Bruce rounding third, heading toward the plate. And this one belongs to the Reds.
Huge situation for Votto. Why you paying the big bucks to deliver the goods with 2 outs in the 9th inning? Can he do it? In the gap, right center field, and Votto delivers the goods.
Hit deep center field. Hank Hill going back at the warning track. Oh, he gets one. It's gone. Joey Votto is delivered.
To this edition of the Chatterbox Reds pregame show. It is September 10th. The Reds are 3 games out. I am Max Alfonso, joined by Austin Layton, and I am battling a cold, so if I sound not great, that is why. I'm not smoking cigarettes, promise. But here we are. The Reds are 3 games out. I did not watch last night because I was tired, but Austin did. So, Austin, I know what happened last night because obviously I looked and have social media. But what were some of your main takeaways from the game last night?
Yeah, man, I stayed up and watched it, so you don't have to worry about it. Basically, Reds Nation, you're welcome. But no, it was a good game. It started off obviously, had some power at the beginning, towards the beginning with Sal Stewart at least, hitting another home run. So good to see him duplicate what he did over the weekend. Didn't want that to be kind of like a one-off, and then he never hits a home run again for the rest of the season or something. But saw some power out of him, power out of Will Benson. Scary injury to Will Benson on the catch he made in right field, kind of snapped his neck on the top of the wall, for lack of a better term, but hopefully doing all right. We'll touch on it. Obviously, you can see he's not in the lineup today, so maybe some lingering soreness or injuries there, but good win. It came down to 2 outs in the ninth. Stevenson's 2-run home run to take the lead in the ninth was kind of the deciding factor, and good to see because Stevenson's kind of been a guy that hasn't had a crazy good year, or at least up to probably his standards, what maybe some of Reds Nation would think. But no, really all around good win. Didn't have to use a whole lot of the bullpen either, which was good. Used Zach Maxwell, who looked pretty good. Pagan closed the game. And then, who am I forgetting that was also in there? Oh, Connor Phillips was also in there and looked good too. So it was, Francona mentioned after the game, it was cool to see, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but those guys that usually aren't in the high leverage situations kind of take advantage of that and actually do well, and especially in a crazy environment like Petco Park is. So really good win all around, man. The Reds needed it. With the Mets kind of doing what they're doing and still hopefully losing tonight, but it's a good game. But yeah, I don't know, Max, what were your takeaways, at least from like the highlights and whatnot that you saw? Anything else?
Yeah, obviously, I think Benson and South Stewart are the two main takeaways, but the game from the bullpen, especially Phillips and Maxwell, that's just really good to see. Two young arms that we've been hearing about for a while. Obviously, Phillips was a starter at one point when he came over from the Mariners in the Jesse Winker trade, but it's just really good to see them pitch high leverage and pitch well. We've seen Luis May get some opportunities in high leverage. It was up and down. So it's good to see Phillips and Maxwell throw well. And then on South Stewart, 4-1 when he's in the lineup, and he's in the lineup tonight. No fear. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. What are your you want to go ahead and run through the lineup and the elephant in the room, or not in the room, I guess.
Yeah, we touched on it a bit. No Will Benson, obviously, but you got TJ Friedel, as he has been, leading off, playing center field. Noelvi Marte at right, batting second. Ellie De La Cruz batting third at short. Austin Hayes in left, batting cleanup, followed by Gavin Lux at DH. South Stewart back in the lineup at first base. So good to see. And then Tyler Stevenson catching tonight. Brian Hayes at third, and Matt McLean at second. And tonight's starting pitcher, Andrew Abbott. So yeah, I mean, I think, to your point, at least with Will Benson, kind of a guy that obviously would start normally, I guess, against a right-handed pitcher. He wouldn't start normally for the Reds, it seems like, because he hasn't seemingly in the past month that he's been up here. But I guess I'm eager to see your thoughts too. But the only thing I could think is maybe one, they just don't want to consistently start him, which is kind of what they've been doing anyway. But also maybe some lingering pain from last night, and probably woke up and realized how sore he was or something like that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the lineup, I guess?
The only reasonable excuse for Will Benson not being in the lineup is that he's hurt. Austin Hayes in his career against the Padres starters 0 for 18. They played in the NL East together for a long time. So and Tito has talked about, looking at previous matchups between hitter and pitcher. And it's clear Austin Hayes doesn't see Pivetta well. And Pivetta is also having the best year of his career. So unless Benson is hurt, there's you can't make an excuse for this. Benson played well last night. He's played well in pretty much every opportunity he's gotten in the last month and a half, 2 months. And those opportunities have come few and far between. So it's just a little disappointing that he's not in the lineup today. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully he'll be available off the bench.
Yeah, pulling up at least the Reds numbers against him just to see if anybody has had success against Pivetta. Ellie De La Cruz, only 3 at bats, but batting .667, so must have been 2 for 3, I guess, if my math is pretty good there. But one of those hits was a home run. So do we see a return of Ellie De La Cruz power tonight? Hopefully, knock on wood, that'd be awesome. But we'll see what happens, I guess, because the home runs did it for him last night. If they can keep it up 2 nights in a row, I think Reds fans would definitely be happy with that result. But yeah, to your point, you got an offer for Hayes, actually an offer for Benson as well, only 3 at bats, but nobody else really had too much success against him except for Spencer Steer batting 500 and 2 at bats. But other than that, everybody's pretty much sub 300 average at least. So could be a rough night, but let's hope it's a good one.
Yeah, and to your point on De La Cruz, I think he has hits in his last 3 games. I think it's just one hit in each game. Obviously hasn't homered in a while. There was a play last night I saw in the gap where he stayed at first and the ball was thrown away in the infield. He didn't even try to go to second. Like
Yeah, that's surprising to
he
me.
he 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 was a Ferrari and now he looks like a Lexus. Like it's a just it's unbelievable watching him. If he's hurt, then put him on the injured list. Like what's the point of doing this? If it's a 10-day injury or a day off, like they're just. I know he wants to play all 162. Everyone does. You can't tell me there's a player. Oh, I'm sure there are players who don't want to play 162. Never mind. But he wants to, and sure, that's great. He can run late in the game, but right now it's just not working at the plate. He's going station to station. He's not hitting the ball over the fence. I can't help but wonder where this team would be if we had Ellie De La Cruz from the first half.
Yeah, I've always not put too much pressure on that, or I guess too much weight on that. But I think to your point, I mean, it's definitely a different Ellie De La Cruz, especially on the bases. I don't know. Like the weird thing to me is like he shows signs of the speed and kind of running, and he'll leg out like a double or something like that. And I think he looks pretty good. But then yeah, it's like an obvious situation, like a ball that I think got past the pitcher, if I remember. And what you're talking about last night, it's like an obvious, advance, especially for a guy with his speed. And it's like I almost wonder if Francona's gotten in these guys' head because I mean they definitely had a different team philosophy under David Bell where they were just seemingly running their tails off. But so I don't know if that's in his head maybe a little bit too, just kind of the coaching aspect of it. But yeah, it would be nice to see him kind of put some pressure on some defenses, especially down the stretch where they really need to win some games. Um, but yeah, at the same time, I guess I don't want to get a bunch of outs on the base paths either. But with him, I mean, your odds are good that he would make it. So we'll see.
All I'm asking for is just one Ellie De La Cruz game where he goes like 3 for 4, a homer, steals a base. Like I just give me one. Just give me one before the year ends.
Steals
The team
second,
has,
steals third, steals home.
oh man, just I would
Games against the
lose my
Brewers.
mind. I don't even remember what it looks. I don't even remember what him running like that looks like. Anyways, I love Ellie. By the way, don't anyone misconstrue that. Um, a real quick comment in the chat. I'll hit on it real quick before we go to the pitchers. Would you rather have Stewart Steer in the lineup? I think it's pretty simple. Sal Stewart. He's hitting well. Ride the hot hand. Over to the pitching side. Andrew Abbott tonight against Nick Pivetta. Two really good pitchers on the mound. Abbott has a 2.88 ERA. Hasn't been as pretty in the second half. And then Nick Pivetta has a 2.85. So what are you looking for tonight in the pitching matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's honestly a really good pitching matchup on both sides. Really, I mean, both guys obviously with a sub 3 ERA, I should say. But yeah, to your point, Abbott's been kind of up and down. It seems like ever since the second half of the year. So hopefully we get a good outing out of Abbott. I hope he's not necessarily running out of gas. I know I'm trying to think of like the past few years for Abbott, and I mean, I, I feel like the prior years, and maybe I'm missing something. Like he always had more of like an injury, in the season that kind of limited his innings. This might be, I don't know. If somebody in the chat keep me honest, but I wonder how this amount of innings this so far this year compares to what he's done in recent years, and it could be a
I just
contributing
looked it
factor.
up.
Did you?
So in the majors, I didn't look at the minors at all. But in the majors, he's had his career high. Last year, it was his career high at 138. He's at 143 right now. So he's at his career high. But at this point in his career, it's his third year. I want to see him. I want to see him finish the year strong. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to your point, at this point in your career, you kind of got to be able to pull a full or make it through a full season, I should say. But yeah, I think on both sides. I mean, I can't see this game being super high scoring. I say that and I'll probably be like 10 to 11 or something. but I don't know. Just with both guys, I think in looking at the track record at least of some of these guys against both sides, we don't really look great against Pavetta. Some of the averages against Abbott are actually decent. Arise has a 333 average over 6 at bats. Machado's only batting 111 though, but Sheets 667. and Loreno 667 too. So I don't know. I think looking at those, it kind of maybe feels like that they might be able to see Abbott better than we'll see Pavetta, but I still think it'll be a low scoring game on both sides, just with kind of how both guys overall. But what are your thoughts, I guess, on the pitches?
Yeah, so I'll run through the Padres lineup and my thoughts are kind of bounce off that. Batista leaded off. Luis Arias will hit second and play second. Manny Machado third. Gavin Sheets DHing. Ramon Laureano, Jackson Merrill in center. And 7-8-9 is Ryan O'Hearn. Cronenworth playing shortstop tonight in Elias Diaz. A little note on Cronenworth. This was his second start of the year at shortstop. A little surprised they're not playing Jose Iglesias against the lefty. I didn't look at his numbers, but normally Iglesias hits lefties pretty well. But Iglesias he's getting up there. He's at 37, 38 now. Reds legend. But yeah, there's 4 lefties I believe in the lineup tonight for the Padres, so that's interesting to me. Um, how much did it really matter against Abbott? Not too much. He's got a 2.88 ERA on the year. He's just gotten outs no matter who you are. So it's a little interesting to me, just the Padres lineup construction. And then from the Reds lineup construction wise, no Benson, obviously. I'm disappointed in that. I'd rather see Benson than Hayes tonight. And I would probably rather put Stewart hitting cleanup and then Benson hitting 6. That's Benson hitting 6 or 7. Mix that around with Stevenson, but it's the way it goes. The Reds need a win. Um, that's pretty simple. Just win games. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I'd gotten a little bit of help, at least scoreboard watching earlier today. Lost by the Giants. We're only a half a game behind those guys. Mets currently top of the 4th. Looks like they are still losing 2-0 against the Phillies. So setting up for a good day for the Reds to, if they want to capitalize a little bit in the standings, to it's a good day to win, I guess, in terms of making up ground and hopefully at least narrowing the gap as much as they can with what are we down to? 17 games or something like that. I don't know. My math's probably off on that, but somewhere around there.
I think it's 17. Um, you got to win every opportunity you can. The Reds this weekend go to Sacramento and play the Athletics. Not a good team, but the A's can hit it. They swing the bats well. So it's not going to be an easy series in Sacramento. Um, so you got to win tonight. Got to win every opportunity you can get. One piece of news that we'll hit on here. Chase Burns will be activated Friday. Sounds like he'll come out of the bullpen. I question if he was even hurt. I think they were just kind of managing his innings. There was never
That
really
Phantom IL stint.
yeah, no one at any point seemed to be concerned. Jim Day at some point was like, "Yeah, we'll see if he comes back this year." And then Cowboy later that day, it's like, "Yeah, he's throwing like 100 in the live ABs. I'm not sure why he's not active." So that pretty much tells you everything you need to know. So
Jim
Chase
Day
Burns
was
will be ready.
toting the company line. He had to make it look real, right? He's like, "Oh man, yeah, it's questionable."
Right. That's exactly what I think it was. But Chase Burns will be activated Friday. Looking forward to seeing him pitch. I've missed watching him. So what do you expect from Chase Burns? What do you think his role will be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because they have the caveat of they'll try to, um, I guess C. Trent Rosecrans made the comment that he'll be in the bullpen with restrictions. I guess I don't know necessarily what those restrictions are. I'm sure it's pitch count, innings count type of deal. But I don't know. I mean, I can't necessarily see them putting him right into like a high leverage 8th, 9th inning situation. I think his stuff could probably play in those roles, but it would just be kind of shocking for them to jump right to that at this point in the year. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see too what kind of corresponding moves I guess that they make too, right? And we talked about it. These games you basically have to manage it like every game's game 7 of the World Series at this point because you need to win. So it'll be interesting to see. Well, one, what they do tonight, just because they really didn't use too many guys in the bullpen like we touched on last night. They got the off day tomorrow. So whoever they're maybe thinking about sending down, I wonder if it gets in a situation where they kind of burn a guy and then send him down to make room for Burns on Friday. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I can't see them really going, much different than maybe like the 6th or 7th with Burns, or maybe, stretch him out for 2 innings type of deal. But we'll see. He's an electric guy to have in the bullpen. I was initially kind of curious if they would do it, with him in the bullpen at all. And here it is. So we'll see how he goes with it. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the move is pretty straightforward. I think it's for either Zoletta or Richardson. Um, my guess would be Richardson. I think Zoletta's, yeah, when he's gotten opportunities, he's been fine. I mean, his role is only going to be to eat innings anyways, and and I think he's stretched out. Um, so that's what I would expect. As far as where you use him, I would use him in like the Barlow, role, like 6th, 7th inning. You know, I'd probably leave the 8th and 9th for Santillan and Pagan, as much as Pagan is scaring me at this point in the year. Um, but I think that's how, and I don't think he's going to pitch back-to-back days. And yeah, I think there's a chance we only see him like once per series. And then if you get into the playoffs, we'll see. Um, we'll see. We got to get there. But it's September 10th. We're 3 games out. Let's be honest, it doesn't look good. But the Mets don't want to make the playoffs. Like they had just been
I
blown
appreciate
every single opportunity. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? The Mets are down right now in the top of the 4th. They do have 1st and 3rd though, with 1 out. Do you have any more thoughts on Chase Birds or his comments from Mike in the chat? This is exactly the type of series we've been winning all year. Then we'll follow it up with losing division games, which is going to happen. Well, lucky for you, Mike, we play the A's next, and they're not in the division.
Yeah,
So,
but unfortunately, they're a pretty bad team. We also usually suck against those too, so we'll see. But yeah,
yeah,
good comment. But no, nothing really else on Burns. It'll be I don't know. It's another exciting storyline in a year that's seen us call up Sal Stewart and see just exciting pitching on the whole Red staff. So another cool element. See how Terry manages it. I'm sure our fellow co-hosts on Chatterbox pregame and postgame will have a lot to talk about. It'll be fun.
yeah. And Mike clarifies in the chat saying he's talking about the Cardinals and Cubs after this. Yeah, there's a good chance they win the series and win the A series and then get smoked by the Cardinals in St. Louis. Like
Yeah,
it's just
and they're riding on our
just
tails
how it
too.
goes.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy. Um, but tonight, what are your predictions? Mine is actually I'm not even going to give a prediction. But what I want to see is Tito be very aggressive with how he manages this game. Will that happen? I doubt it. But it'd be nice if Tito showed some fire.
Yeah, it's you bring up an interesting point because we got like the shows that I've done pregame on here. It's usually like, hey, like what do you think the score is going to be? It's like I don't like honestly, like I could see the Reds losing this game in all reality, but no, what I want to see happen too. I think I don't know. I think if you can get a couple good at bats out of Marte and De La Cruz, I think that would be a good spark plug for this offense. Obviously, being at the top of the lineup, I think Marte has shown signs, later half of this year of really being a guy that we can count on in the next year. I'd like to see him kind of carry the team tonight. If he can get on, obviously get some RBIs as well, I think would be huge. But yeah, I think overall, like I said, I think it could be a low scoring game. So I mean, I could honestly see the Reds, it being in like a 3-1 type of game or 3-2, and you know, either way, really, Padres or Reds with those scores. But I don't know. I'm just looking for an exciting game. I think, it seems like hopefully last night the way that they won it with the late home run by Stevenson kind of seems like a good team win. If you're going to build any type of momentum off of a game, that would be it. Just because I mean, it seems like the Reds have kind of lacked that firepower of like if they get down or they're tied late in the game, it's just you don't see much hope of them like actually coming back and being clutch. But last night they actually did. So I don't know, man. I hope that momentum carries, and they got an off day tomorrow, so they should really try to give it all they can today. Use whoever they got to use, type of deal, and then head to Sacramento, which I've never said that for a Reds team before, but here we are.
Yeah. My prediction for the night is TJ Friedel lays down a really good jackpot and he reaches and everyone is that's That's as far as I'll go.
He's been hitting the ball recently too, though. I'll give him that.
He has. And Friedel's an awesome bunter. So he's one of the only guys I'm like, okay, fine. You want to bunt? Go ahead.
Right.
But yeah, here we are. The Reds need a win. Will they get it? I don't know. Find out on the postgame show with Trace and Nick. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And let me find the outro. There it is. The Reds.